Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the broadcast today, and a good one we have for you, but don't we always have a good one for you? Frasernet is hosting a series of programs at the City Club of Cleveland throughout the year, and the chairman and its CEO, George Fraser, is here to talk more about these programs and about a significant honor he recently received. Later in the broadcast, we'll hear from Brian McIntyre of the Cleveland Metropolitan School District about a program to get Cleveland schools alumni involved. And then later in the broadcast after that, we'll hear from Tracy Nichols of the City of Cleveland and Tom Stone of Mount Pleasant Now Community Development Corporation. They'll talk about creating jobs for Clevelanders. Good morning again. This is Kaleidoscope. I'm Leon Bibb, and so we begin. Beginning with another good friend here, George Fraser, Chairman and CEO of Frasernet. Hey, George.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing just fine.
Good to be with you once again.
I'm doing just fine. First off, refresh our memory and fresh our minds on Frasernet, what it does and its mission.
Yeah, we're a global leadership network committed to economic development through education, training, and empowerment for black people. There are 51,000 top black professionals, business owners, and community leaders in our network. We focus on two very simple goals. The first goal is to help black people build wealth that can be transferred intergenerationally. It's not that we don't have wealth. We do have wealth. We're not poor. We're just broke. Our money goes in one direction away from us, and we're some of America's most conspicuous consumers, so we're trying to fix that. Right. And the second goal is to help black people to become the #1 employer of black people in the 21st century, to create work and jobs for our people, because that's the only way to raise up the poor.
If black Americans were a nation unto ourselves, we'd be one of the wealthiest nations in the world.
That's right.
Our spending power.
Our spending power, $920 billion a year. You could take the 48 countries in sub-Saharan Africa, combine its gross domestic product, add Madagascar on the east and the Cape Verde Islands on the west, and it would not equal the $920 billion that we bring to the table in a single year. You can take the United Emirates, right, where Abu Dhabi is and Dubai is. They do $250 billion a year to run those countries in the United Emirates. We bring to the table 4 times that wealth in a single year.
And what you're trying to do is get black folks to understand that the need of working together and combining and going into business and things like that.
Exactly. To network.
Yeah. Congratulations to you. Inducted into the Minority Business Hall of Fame and Museum. Heard about that the other day down in May.
That's huge. Yeah. That's huge.
And tell me about this. The Minority Business Hall of Fame induction ceremonies at UCLA.
It was at UCLA at the Hall of Fame there. This is the 7th anniversary of this induction ceremony, so I've been inducted with the likes of Earl Graves, Reginald Lewis, John H. Johnson, Harriet Michelle, who ran the National Minority Supply Development Council, and many others, Kathy Hughes. Yeah, it's a very, very, very high honor. I never thought in my lifetime, a guy from Brooklyn, you see, I'm from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, so when you're from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, the home of Jay-Z, Notorious Big, and Chris Rock, when you're from Bed-Stuy, you're either one of two, and George Fraser, you're one of two things. You're either a gangster or you're a thug. And so I'm a gangster, right? I'm a gangster. And so is Barack Hussein Obama. He's a gangster, too.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
A gangster, in the new modern day hip-hop terminology, a gangster is someone who's decisive, who is persuasive, right? Who is assertive, right? And who makes things happen. So Barack Hussein Obama said, "Oh, is that where Osama bin Laden is? Let's go kill him.
Let's go get him."
Exactly.
But you've been speaking this way because you've been in Cleveland for decades now.
43 years. Yeah, so I've been here, and so it's a wonderful. I never thought in my lifetime that I would be in a museum and I would be alive to see it, and I'm not stuffed, right? And I'm not a piece of wax. So this is really wonderful, and I'm really honored.
And thank goodness that you are still with us and doing what you do. You've got a series of speakers coming to the City Club of Cleveland now. And you always got a series of speakers. I'm holding a card. You had the other day. You had Randall Pinkett, who won the Apprentice show on NBC.
That's right.
Donald Trump's show on NBC, and Randall Pinkett became the Apprentice. You're always able to get these speakers to come to Cleveland. You've got more coming to the City Club.
Yeah, we do. We started with Yala Van Zant early in the year, and then segued to Dr. Randall Pinkett, who's phenomenal, a Rhodes Scholar. And we have coming up, my sister's coming to Cleveland for the first time, Emma Fraser Pendleton, to talk about turning around schools, urban education. That's going to be August the 18th. And then I'm going to be speaking at the City Club for our final of the series of 4, and we call it the Success Net Connecting Generations program in December.
How can people people get in touch with you now?
Well, just simply go to our website, www.frasernet, Frasernet.com, or call us at 216-691-6686, extension 330, and they can get tickets. It's free of charge. No one is charged anything to come to these incredible programs.
And you got a series of speakers who are going to come in.
That's right. Right. So the next one is August, and then the next one is in the fourth quarter. Right.
We're going to keep that number up because it's a lot there that people can write down. And I ask people oftentimes in the last show that we did last week, I asked somebody, if you were king, I could make you king, what would you do to raise the quality of life in this country and among your people? What would you do to raise that?
Most importantly, focus on education with a heavy emphasis on science, technology, engineering, and math, because that's where all of the jobs and all of the skills that will be necessary will encompass those four areas: STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, especially in urban communities. The days of northern migration, getting a job in a plant and carving out a middle-class life is over. In fact, in the 21st century, Leon, I promise you that you will not be able to get a job in a factory without a college degree, because it's all going to be robotics.
It's all changing.
It's all changing.
Everything has changed since you and I were kids. And what you try to do is get folks to network together.
That's right.
Especially black people to network together. I got 30 seconds remaining.
Okay.
I know it's hard to do, but give me a little bit on why that's important.
Well, business. We encourage people going into business. And business is about relationships. Without relationships, you have no business. Without relationships, you have no business being in business. In fact, the business we're all really in is in the business of building relationships.
And that's what we're trying to do.
Network.
And it's been a good relationship having you on the broadcast today. It's always good to see you. I run into this guy at Hopkins Airport every time I'm there.
That's right.
You're getting on a plane.
I think I live there.
Yeah, I think you do. He's always on his way to do business
Appreciate
somewhere.
you.
Good to see you, George. Tell the family we said hey.
Love you, man.
Okay,
Keep
love
doing
you
God's
back,
word. Absolutely.
Okay, we will. George Fraser, ladies and gentlemen, CEO of Frasernet, 691-6686, extension 330. I got to take a break. We'll be right back. This is Kaleidoscope, but first these words especially for you. Welcome back. You're in touch with Kaleidoscope. Glad to have you with us today. The Cleveland Metropolitan School District recently launched the Cleveland Association of Alumni and Friends. It's an organization which allows alumni of the Cleveland District to become more involved in lending their talents, their volunteerings, and offering financial support to the Cleveland School District. And Public Affairs Specialist Brian McIntyre is here to talk more about this event, about the website for alumni. And I should add that he is my good friend, my very good friend, former News Channel 5 reporter, former reporter for the Ohio News Network, now working with the Cleveland school system. Good to see you, Brian.
You too, sir. Always.
Yeah. Oh, just
always.
great to have you. Tell me about this Cleveland Association of Alumni and Friends.
Well, the whole point, Leon, is to engage alums in the district, and there's a whole lot of us. I say us. You're a Glenville alum. I'm a John Marshall alum. On the level that the district hasn't really before. We've always had alumni associations at the high school level, but there hasn't been a really significant district-level, district-wide engagement of alums. So this is the whole point. What we want to do is reach out to alums. We've been able to do this through a very generous grant from the Cleveland Foundation. Yeah. So that's where that money comes from. And we want to give alums not only the opportunity to support in terms of volunteering and in terms of giving money, and there are ways to do that through the website, but we also want to give alums the opportunity to show their pride. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of, high-profile, successful alums in the district, outside the district, who are contributing, and this is their chance to say, I'm from Cleveland, I'm a product of the Cleveland public school system, and here we are, hear us roar.
And that's hear us roar indeed. You're doing what colleges have long done, bringing the alumni into the group, the men and the women who are graduates of the system, bringing them back in, and like the old song when I was growing up, be true to your school. Right. And be true to your school district.
That's we want to take it to the next level. Be true to your school district. And it's not just about, again, it's not just about money, but it is about engagement in terms of letting people understand that there is a significant legacy here, and the alumni are probably the best representation that there could be of the legacy of this district.
You and I were together the other day because you have featured me on your alumni site, on the Cleveland Metropolitan School District alumni site. You tell me what's happening there.
What's happening there is we've got a very distinguished guy, Leon Bibb. And what you're doing there is Leon's registering to be a member of the alumni site. And it's a very quick, easy process. You log onto the website where it says Alumni and Friends, and you go in and you give us your information. And that allows you to be connected with other fellow alums.
With our alums. And I was one of the first people, I guess, to log on.
That is absolutely right.
There I found a little video that you put together, you and your staff put together, of me talking about my days growing up in Cleveland and being a graduate of the Cleveland school system.
That's going to be, Leon, one of the, actually the keystone, I think, of the site. When you get there, there is a video box. And what that feature allows us to do is give an alum such as yourself, and you are our inaugural piece, the opportunity to talk about yourself in terms of what you're doing, what you've been doing since you graduated from Cleveland schools, and most importantly, how that Cleveland public school education has allowed you to get to the point where you are today. So this is a way for alums to see each other and present day doing what we do.
How do people access this now? Where do they go to find all of this video? Well, there's video of me on there, but there'll be video of other people on there as well. It's difficult to do an interview talking about how do they find me.
Well, if you want to see Leon,
how do you do this?
www.cmsdnet.net. That's www.cmsdnet.net is the district website. And there is a place where you can get to the alumni page, alumni.
And we all register, and we can kind of find each other, and we can see stories on individual alums who have distinguished themselves.
That's right. All kinds of information on alums, and not just alums, I should say, Leon, but also retired teachers, other supporters of the district. So it's a big effort, and it's going to be an ongoing effort.
It's a way for the Cleveland school system to get its story out its own way, the way it wants its story out, because it controls the website.
It controls the message, and the messages are all good. How do you not become inspired by looking at some of your fellow graduates and seeing what they've done and learning about what they've been doing since they graduated? And I think we're hoping that this is a way for alums to embrace the district perhaps in a way they hadn't before. And there are already, again, I want to make sure that that it's stated that there are already alumni associations at the high school level.
Right.
And we're not replacing those. We want those are strong organizations here in Cleveland. So we want those associations to continue to work and do what they do, but we want to help in terms of what they're doing. We want to help their efforts in embracing their own alums.
That would be your vision for this association as we go deeper into this. You're just kicking it off right now.
That's right.
But let me say one thing. Cleveland schools were wonderful for me. Kindergarten through the 12th grade, I was totally prepared for life. Totally prepared.
You know, as was I. And, you know, my mom, you know, was a Cleveland school teacher. My wife is a Cleveland school teacher. And I can't say enough about the education I got at John Marshall High School. Your education, obviously, at Glenville prepared you well. And
Empire Junior High and Miles Standish Elementary, all the way back to kindergarten. They taught me my ABCs. Still working on them, too. Good to see you, Brian.
Absolutely,
my friend, Brian McIntyre. He and I get together on a lot of times on various kinds of projects, including poetry and guitar music and stuff like that. But that's a subject for another show. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, sir.
CMSDnet.net. That's right. You can find us.
Yes, sir.
I got to take a break. I'll be right back in a moment. Welcome back to more of Kaleidoscope today. The City of Cleveland is partnering with the Cleveland Citywide Development Corporation to promote economic development in this city and create jobs for Clevelanders. The city's Director of Economic Development, Tracy Nichols, is with us, and Executive Director of the Mount Pleasant Now Community Development Corporation, Tom Stone, is also with us. We're going to talk more about these efforts. Good to have you both with us, Tracy Nichols and Tom Stone.
Great to be here.
Tracy, let's start with you. You're Director of Economic Development for the City of of Cleveland. Tell me about the partnership between the City of Cleveland and the Cleveland Citywide Development Corporation. What is that?
Well, a lot of people don't realize that we do a lot of lending in the City of Cleveland, and we have a board that reviews every loan that we have, and that's the Cleveland Citywide Development Corporation. It's made up of bankers, lawyers, and community representatives like Mr. Stone.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate their efforts. It's a volunteer effort. They come and review every loan to make sure that our underwriting is correct and to provide technical assistance to our staff.
Yeah. Tom Stone, you're Executive Director of Mount Pleasant Now Development Corporation, and you're also on the Cleveland Citywide Development Corporation.
Yes.
Tell me about the role that you play in that. Well, what do you see is happening?
Well, certainly, again, running the Community Development Corporation, again, we see the opportunity to sit on this board to make sure as loans are made by the city, that certainly that investment is going to the city throughout the different communities within the city, again, to create jobs. I mean, we need jobs in the city of Cleveland. We want to make sure that that public benefit is met. And so also that, again, there's fair equity in terms of distribution of that opportunity throughout the city of Cleveland.
Do you see us as turning the corner, turning a big corner now? Are we on our way or just beginning?
I believe we're on our way. And again, I think working with the City of Cleveland and City Development Corporation that we're a part of, again, we're looking at how we can be a catalyst for a lot of the businesses that want to be here.
Yeah.
Again, sometimes this is gap financing. And without this type of financing being involved, a lot of these, again, organizations would not be able to receive the funding that they need.
I'm holding right now a Department of Economic Development report to council. Tell me a little bit about this,
That's
Tracy.
our annual report. Any citizen can look it up on our website and read through it and find out more about the number of jobs we created last year, over 3,000 jobs, and a little bit about each and every loan and the types of loan products that we have. We also have all of our applications online as well.
What do you see? Look into your crystal ball and tell me what you see is happening in this town. We talked about at the top the importance of creating jobs and that kind of thing.
Well, I see that we've really partnered. Public-private partnership has never been stronger, and we're working with our local institutions to try to attract new business to the City of Cleveland. We have a great effort called the Health Tech Corridor, where we're bringing more and more companies. Another one was just announced coming from Israel into one of our incubators on the corridor, a company called IceCure. And so that's a great effort. And then throughout the city, we have developed individual projects that will help us attract new businesses, such as Coit Road, a biodigester that's going to help us attract food product companies there. So we've really looked at how we can partner with others and get the job done to bring jobs to the city.
Yeah. I know, Tom Stone, you're looking at the city, the entire city, as part of the Cleveland Citywide Development Corporation, but you also are the director of the Mount Pleasant Now Development Corporation. How is Mount Pleasant doing, the community located on the southeast side of Cleveland?
Certainly there are challenges, as we see in all of the communities within the city of Cleveland. I think because of all of the, again, the foreclosure problem that we've seen throughout the city, again, that leaving a lot of vacant abandoned houses, and then certainly businesses within the area, again, struggling in the past to receive loans to expand their businesses. But again, I do see that we now see some turning around, and we really encourage businesses now to really understand that the City of Cleveland is open for business. And that's why we're in place to make sure that if you have a need, that you can come to the City of Cleveland, and we want to make sure that this funding that's available will help you to expand your businesses right within the communities that we operate in.
There are development corporations throughout the city. You got them in Glenville, you got them in Mount Pleasant, you got them in Tremont, you got them all.
Got them all over.
When you work together, do you work together as one unit? This Citywide Development Corporation, do you kind of help each other?
I think the Citywide Development Corporation, again, with the City of Cleveland, the loans are focused on making sure that there's fair distribution throughout the City of Cleveland. I can even speak personally in terms of Mount Pleasant. I mean, working with the City of Cleveland and Tracy, again, we've received, I guess, about 3 loans just in terms of projects within our area that, again, without the city's participation, these projects wouldn't have gone forward.
Tracy, I'm concerned about the population in this city. 100 years ago, we were at 900,000 people in this city. Now we're down to 300 and some thousand inside the city of Cleveland itself. What can we do to turn that around? If we create business opportunities, will that raise our population and strengthen us further?
Right. The real key is jobs. And Mayor Frank Jackson has really told us we've got to go out and bring jobs to the community. With jobs, people come here, they'll move to the city, and we'll be able to increase our population. And our attraction strategy, I think you know, the mayor has been in Slovenia just last week. We've already got a company that has called us and is interested interested in opening operation here. We're sending them information. So we're really making an effort to bring new companies to the region, not just move them around, but bring new companies, bring new jobs. That's really the secret to getting the population to increase.
Okay. I should add, I did not tell you the phone numbers for these organizations. Cleveland City Hall, 664-2406. You can get more information about economic development of the city of Cleveland at 664-2406, 216 area code. And the Mount Pleasant Now organization, 751-0023. That also is in the 216 area code. We wish you both well.
Thank you.
Because I'm wishing myself well, because this is the town of my birth and where I probably will be buried one day. That's the goal, is to live until you die, of course. But this is my town, life to death, and we want this town to work well.
We think things are going well, and it's been great being here. Thank you.
Good to have you with us. Tracy Nichols, Director of Economic Development for the City of Cleveland, and Tom, pardon my reach there across you, Tracy. Tom Stone, Executive Director of Mount Pleasant Now Development Corporation, also part of the Cleveland Citywide Development Corporation. Good to have you both on the broadcast.
Thank you so much.
I want you back. We're going to talk about this because we got a lot more corners to turn.
Great.
Thank you.
I'm taking a break. This is Kaleidoscope. Back shortly. Here's Marsha Maccabee, Urban League CEO and President here in Cleveland. What's on your mind today, Marsha?
I've had a lot put on my mind today by the great broadcast that we've had, Leon, and I want to start by just applauding and acknowledging our brother George Fraser and his outstanding recognition that he's receiving this year.
In the Minority Business Hall of Fame.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're glad about that. The second thing is we had a great segment about this new alumni piece that the Cleveland Metropolitan School District is doing. I want everyone to know I'm a proud alum of Collinwood High School, and I plan to join you in signing up and being a part of that alumni piece. Okay?
While you were at Collinwood, I was at Glenville.
Absolutely.
We probably saw each other at football games.
I think we did. I'm sure we did. I'm sure we did. And then finally, the piece with the City of Cleveland and the Community Development Corporations. The Urban League partners very closely with both of those organizations, and particularly the City of Cleveland has been a great friend to the Urban League and Director Nichols, and we do a lot of work in terms of making their products and services. She talked about the loans that they do. We make those loans and that information available, the loan information, I should say, available to the folks who we work with in our Entrepreneurship Center and our Small Business Development Center. So it's a great partnership that we have, and they do great work, and we also want to give them an applause and a nod on what they talked about today as well.
And you do great work too at the Urban League. We are thankful. We are blessed to have you here in our community and have the Urban League. You've been with us for so much. Why don't you take us on out? You say goodbye.
I certainly will. Well, we've had a great broadcast, and I enjoy doing this every week with my friend Leon Bibb, and so today we're going to say so long.
Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.